on this, let's speak to Nicola Hill in London. She's our World Health correspondent. Nicola, thanks so much for joining us. This is very, very, very exciting. Tell us more.
It is good news, isn't it? I've just been speaking to Edward Pinches from the Alzheimer's Research UK and asking him, just thinking, are we happy for no reason? And he said in that very modified way that scientists have, yep, this is good news. It's substantial evidence that having your flu jab or actually having a pneumonia vaccination can help prevent Alzheimer's. So there were two studies that have been published by the Alzheimer's Association at their conference in America that's on at the moment. And the first study that was done by the University of Texas is the one that's a flu vaccination alone. They looked at 9,000 people in America of certain ages, and they discovered that if they'd had the flu jab just once, that's just one vaccination, it reduces their chance of having Alzheimer's by 17%. And if you have this seasonal flu jab every year, and if you start when you're younger, then it reduced the chance even more. And this was people, they sort of had a cross-section of people. They were smokers, non-smokers, heart disease, all the other elements that are being investigated to see if they give you Alzheimer's. And the second study was one looking at the pneumonia vaccination, and it was either the pneumonia vaccination on its own or the pneumonia vaccination with the flu shot. And this was of 5,000 people. This was done by two other universities in the States. And they discovered that it could reduce the chance of getting Alzheimer's by between 25 and 30%, or as much as 40% if you were somebody who didn't have that Alzheimer's gene. So, as you say, Maria, really exciting news.
It really, really is. And we know that the annual flu shot may lessen the risk of developing Alzheimer's later in life because the flu vaccination reduces the inflammation of the nerves that the disease actually attacks. Do we know more about this?
Well, actually, we don't really know why it's working. And this is something that the scientists have been telling me that they need to have a lot more studies about. So one of the thinking, and this is the Chief Scientific Officer of the Alzheimer's Association, says it actually might be because people who go and attend and have their vaccinations done are healthy in other ways and they look after themselves. But it might be to do with this inflammation. There has been research in the past looking at how viruses cause inflammation. There's been research that's been done on animals where they've shown that the flu virus can actually cause Parkinson's-like symptoms. And that's when they think it is inflammation. But that's not definitely known. It's just a hypothesis at the moment. And one of the things I asked Ed Pinches is I said to him, well, look, does that mean if you get the flu or you've had pneumonia, you're more likely to have Alzheimer's in the future? And he said no. He said that obviously looks like an obvious question to ask, but no, further research they've been looking at into the causes of Alzheimer's, and more of that information is going to be published this week. One of them doesn't look as though infection in the past, having flu or having pneumonia, does put you at risk. But what it does do is definitely encourage people to have the flu vaccine, particularly at the moment with COVID-19. Here in the UK, for example, they've actually reduced the age of being vaccinated. It used to be at 65. It's now going to be everybody over the age of 50 is going to be offered the flu vaccine, partly so that they can lessen the demand on the health service, because if people don't have flu, they're not going to take up beds in the winter. Partly because it can tell you whether if you have flu symptoms, whether it's COVID-19 or the flu. If you've had the vaccine, it won't be the flu. But obviously, if it means it's going to protect you against having Alzheimer's or a dementia in the future, then yeah, we should all be encouraged to be vaccinated against flu.
It's incredible. It really is, Nicola. I think I should get my flu jab when I'm back in the UK next week. Thank you so much for bringing us good news from the world of medicine and of science. Nicola Hill there, our health correspondent in London. Thank you for such good news.